billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, with the noble and universal greeting of peace. The greeting that has been used by the prophets and messengers of our universal Creator, Almighty Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukr to Allah, we have the opportunity to congregate on this auspicious day, the Jumu'ah, and to remember our Creator. And of all the things that human beings can do and learn about, I think there is nothing, I know that there is nothing that we can talk about and learn about than that is more important and beneficial to us than becoming aware of our Creator. Now, many people will assume, yeah, it's beneficial, like do religious things because it is beneficial. Do religious things. I mean, we've heard that, right? Do this, that it's good, and that's good, it's beneficial to do this and to do that. And don't do that, that's not beneficial, that's actually detrimental. But actually, becoming aware of your Creator is the most beneficial thing you can do. To become aware. To live your life becoming less unhealthy, aware of everything else but our universal Creator, Almighty Allah. So human beings can be aware of the things of the world, of the created world. They can be aware of themselves, they can be aware of their, situations in life. They can be aware of the things in life that they think will make them happy, and the experiences in life that they think they need. Human beings can be aware about themselves and about living. From the time of our birth to the time of our death, we can be aware from the body, identified with the body, the sight, the hearing, the smell, the taste, the touch, the body, it needs food. The body has requirements for physical survival. Food, water. The body has other requirements, shelter, and so on and so forth. Warmth, So people, and in today's day and age, money seems to be, very important. Just living, back in the day you had your own land, you never paid to anybody anything. Now if you got land and you live in the city and all that, you pay rates and you pay all that sort of thing. And so people are focused on survival, the body and survival and the body's requirements, and food and water and shelter and warmth and other requirements. And so we can get focused into this world, in the economic world. We can focus into this world about money and making sure that we get money, or making sure that the people they get money, and our lives can become very centered around the body. Our lives can become centered around the acquisition of money, so that we can carry on. And our lives can be then centered around the work that we do, or the businesses that we have, So what I'm talking about is becoming Allah aware, God conscious. And I'm saying to you, many of us are focused on, through our bodies, the survival of our bodies, and the body's requirements, and the things that are related to the body's requirements, like a work or a job, or being with somebody who's got work or a job, or having a business, and making sure you get money, and the things around life of just making sure, you have enough money, or you have sufficient food. People need to be fed, and that's how we think. We live our lives now very aware of our unhappiness. We don't have this, and if we have this, we'll be happy. And other people have it, and we don't have it, and we must have it too, and be like the Jameses. We can be very focused on how we are living compared to how our neighbors are living, how we are living compared to how our family members are living. No, we can become focused on these kind of things. Are we living better than others? Are others living better than us? And did we study enough to get a good job enough so that we can work hard enough to earn enough money? Am I a nice person? Do people like me? What am I going to do now? People don't like me. I must get people to like me. Maybe with some of this money I got, I'll buy a nice car that people can, oh, you've got a nice car. Or maybe I'll dress nicely and people can see they'll like me or they'll respect me. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of focus through this body into this world, and you get lost in here. And the Quran says, don't let the chief deceiver deceive you about Allah. This world is chattels of deception. You know what I mean? Don't get lost in this world. And that's where our main focus is. And then some of us say, let's not get lost in the world. Let's make sure we do our rituals. We'll do this ritual and that ritual, and just let's make sure we read the Quran. We don't understand a word of it, and we're reading it, and let's just, follow these particular people, and they are leading us, and we'll just follow them because we don't want to be lost in the dunya. You know what I mean? So let's find some kind of person to follow, or some group. Let's belong to this group now. This man is guiding us. He knows now, And so we live like that now. Okay, let's be religious. And let's save our souls because you've got to do these things, and he'll tell you this and he'll tell you that. Not telling you exactly what the Quran is telling you, and he doesn't understand himself sometimes, but you'll be understanding what somebody's telling you, and you'll be living and focused on him as an authority, or a parent as an authority, or some other human being as an authority. Isn't it? You're in this world and you're lost and you're insecure and you're trying to feel safe and relieved and thinking you're better than, you have enough, and get excited and feel sad and depressed. It's not the way you want it. That man is not loving you. That woman is not caring about you. And if only he or she was different, and if only, let's go to Maulana Guru and ask him, can he change my wife, or my children are letting me down, and they're disappointing me, they're not listening. So people get hung up on the life of this world, and they're living from a complete spiritual impoverishment. Because the Quran says when you remember Allah, your hearts experience assurance. You know what I mean? That Allah is sufficient for the believer. Allah is adequate. And that when you remember Allah abundantly, you will progress. You will prosper. You'll experience success. You know what I mean? But people are thinking, we go to mosque on a Friday, and we do these rituals, and we keep our fasts, and we do this, and we got our duki on our head, and we dress like this, and we speak like that, and we with this group of people, what they do, we do, and we are like this, and they are like that, and the others are not right, and we are right, and all this politics, and it's as simple as becoming Allah conscious, which is something very rarely people do. I mean, I was one of those people who didn't know what it was to be Allah conscious. I thought being Allah conscious was to be religion conscious. I thought, like the Quran is telling us, was do good means follow the religion and just read your namaz and read the Quran and go for Hajj and keep your, fast and all that, and just do these things. Just do these things, that means you're good. Just do these things, that means you're good. Until I realize it's only the purifying of the heart that is going to benefit us. That becoming aware of Allah is what it's all about. Not through this lost in this mind, in this world with more things to do. Now first we have to go to work, now we have to do these rituals, now we have to do that, we pay for this, now we have to pay for a sheep and slaughter it. That is still in the trance, you get what I mean? That's still living as a human being that's insecure, that is unaware of Allah. We can choose to actually become aware of Allah, live with Allah as central in our life, instead of being self-centered. Centered on this body and centered on this mind and on our thinking and our body and what we think in our body and living, we can actually go beyond our thinking. You understand? You can go beyond your mind and you can reason beyond your mind. Sounds strange, but it's true. You can reason beyond your mind. What your mind tells you is not necessarily true. It can be the whisperings of Satan. Don't believe what anybody else tells you, but also don't believe what your mind tells you, what your own mind tells you, what you tell yourself. People have told you things, and you've got your mind full with these ideas. You might be skeptical of new ideas, but what about the old ideas you have? You see? So submission to Allah is something completely different. And this is what my understanding of the verse that says that don't say that you're a believer, for Iman has not entered into your heart. Rather say you're submissive in religion. People are not eating haram, but they don't know about tayyib because Maulana Guru didn't tell them about tayyib, just told them about haram. They're now following that man, but they don't know that there's a way to live with conscious awareness, to be aware of Allah, to submit, to go beyond ideas and beliefs, to actually have the awareness and experiencing of Allah consciousness, to actually experience awareness beyond everyday awareness, beyond the mind's awareness and thinking, and beyond the body's awareness and the senses and all this living that I've been describing to you, that there really is for us. There is for us to become aware. Tawheed, before anything, before anybody, because everything and everybody is created. Before the created world is Allah. Allah alone really exists. Allah is the one, the only, the all, the always. Allah alone is the one authority. Allah is for us to focus on. Allah is for us to feel about. Allah alone is for us to give exclusive attention to. Allah alone is the relevant. Allah alone is the special, the important. Allah alone is the significant. Allah alone is the reliable, the responsible, the remarkable. Allah alone has absolute value. Allah alone is all we require. We have Allah. And Allah has favored us. You see, so you can live from this one narrative that everybody's living from. And the Quran says that until guidance comes to you, in your heart there'll be a disease. And you live your life controlled by that disease in your heart. You understand? That when guidance comes to you, you'll no longer be astray if you receive that guidance. And that the diseased heart will no longer be. You understand? The Quran is a healing of the diseases in our hearts. Its guidance guides us to Allah, to His greatness, to His graciousness, to His power. The Quran says that Allah created the heavens and the earth that we may recognize Him and His power. You get what I mean? Now people are like, my body needs to eat and I got work and I'm following Maulana Guru and all that. But they're not aware of Allah and they're not aware of Allah's power. You understand? And this is why a lot of people don't experience the power of Allah in their life. When they make dua, their dua has not got any potency because they're not aware of Allah's power. Get what I mean? So you can live your life insecure, saying you're a believer but not really having Iman in your heart and just following what you think is submissive in religion. Or you can live as a believer. You can submit. You can recognize there's only Tawheed. There's only Allah, Tawheed, the one. There is no two-ness. There is only Allah. There's no Allah and us. There's no Allah and the world. There's no Allah and Satan. There is only Allah who created an intelligence, benevolent and beneficent, all-powerful, all great, all gracious. There is only Allah that alone really is. We have Allah. Allah has given to us. Allah is the generous. We don't have to make Allah generous. Allah is the giving. We don't have to make Allah giving. Allah is the granting. We don't have to make Allah granting. Allah is the loving. We don't have to make Allah loving. Allah has already favored us. In the Quran it says, which of the favors of your Lord are you denying? Are you recognizing you have Allah who has favored you? That we are the favored creation of Allah. That the Quran says we created you and favored you among the people of the earth. We are among on earth, we're the highest life form on earth. We have been given by Allah privilege, respect. When the Prophet Adam was created, the rest of creation was asked to bow before. All in the heavens were asked to bow before the Prophet Adam. You get what I mean? So Allah was impressed with His creation. Human beings are the champion creation of Allah. We have Allah championing us. We have Allah telling us, what has happened to you human beings is that Adam and Eve cut a deal with Satan. We had a contract with Satan. And the people are lost, but now guidance is coming. Allah is championing the human beings. Come on guys, there's more you can be. You're the highest of creation. Worship me, come back on track, and live as these honorable beings that I created you. Don't worship Satan and live insecurely and behaving badly. You understand? Allah is guiding us to faith, security in our heart. Being a mu'min is actually having faith, is secure. See, when you're living your life, my body, me, house, car, neighbors, Maulana Guru, do this, do that, you're not Allah aware. You are coming from yourself and your mind and fearful and scared. I don't want to go to hell, so let me do this, and I don't want to do the wrong thing, and people told me this, now our group is the right group and the other group is the wrong group. You're not just recognizing a simple truth, that there is only Allah to give excessive focus to. Exclusive attention is for Allah alone. Strong feeling is for Allah alone. Allah alone actually exists. Allah alone actually exists. You and I and all Maulana Guru and gang are created beings. Including the prophets, we are created beings. Even the Prophet Muhammad said, peace be upon him, many things he doesn't know. He doesn't know. You know what I mean? Allah is the only all-knowing. Allah alone is the all-powerful. So when we start taking no authorities from among ourselves, and we recognize the authority that is Allah, this is submission. We become aware beyond this physical world. We become aware that there is. We become aware beyond this physical world that there is an intelligence, benevolent and beneficent, all great, all gracious. And we want to become aware, more and more aware of Allah in our heart. We say, Allah, we want to purify our hearts. We want to draw closer to you. We want to experience you, become aware of you. And those of us who actually have an intention to actually be believers, purify our hearts. We become more and more aware of Allah. We recognize that Allah is Al-Wadud, loving. Allah is kind, Ar-Rauf. Allah is patient, As-Sabur. Allah is peace, As-Salam. Allah is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, nurturing, nourishing, compassionate, merciful. We start becoming aware of Allah's qualities, and we start experiencing it like the qadr of Allah, the power of Allah, and His giving to us, His privileging of us. Because I told you, Allah said He created the heavens and the earth that we may become aware of Him and His power. Elsewhere in the Quran it says He created us and favored us, delivered us from our mother's wombs. It's not because of any human beings that human beings exist. It's not because of this world that this world exists. It's not because of the world we exist. It's not because of us the world. It's because of the source, the creator, our Rabb, the one all-powerful. And it's not because of anybody or anything that we are privileged and blessed. We have life in this world through our death and beyond the animals. We have status and standing. We have been given privileges. Understand? We have access to our Creator, that if you invoke Him, He will surely respond. Or many people are thinking, I'm invoking, He's not responding, He's not answering my du'as. They don't understand that until you remember Allah, Allah won't remember you, because we are lost in the fallen stage. Guidance has not come to the people. That if you fail to remember Allah, yours will be a depressed life. Allah has given us guidance that we may become aware of His wonderful beingness, unique beingness. And that we become aware that we are His favored creation, that He gave us, He breathed His Spirit into us, the Quran says, that we can be peaceful and patient and loving and compassionate. We can experience ourselves as being godly. We can be generous and kind, merciful, forgiving. We can be creative. It's a favor of Allah. You see, those of us who are on that path of, in the head, following the people, trying to avoid hell, hoping we'll get into heaven, or just trying to make sure in this world we're okay, we got food, we got shelter, or maybe better than other people, or not too bad off, whatever. We're not purified in our heart. We're not Allah conscious and aware who we are, that Allah created us to be, and what we've been given. Allah says, we created you, delivered you from your mother's womb, gave you hearing and sight, intellect and affect, feeling, that you may be grateful. Intellect, reason, and affect, feeling. Human beings can experience joyful expression. We can experience enjoyable experiencing. We can live naturally. Allah put love and compassion in our hearts that we may take partners from among ourselves, that we may dwell with each other in tranquility. He put love and compassion in our hearts. But the people who are lost, in whose hearts is a disease, they cannot recognize Allah's greatness and graciousness. They cannot recognize the power of Allah and the privileging of Allah. Because in their hearts is a disease. Allah says He'll not change a condition of a people until they change what is in their hearts, until they themselves change, until you address that insecurity, until you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, until you understand that Satan is an enemy avowed and we are to claim the refuge with Allah. You understand? Not just claim the refuge in Maulana Guru and our own mind and other people, what they told us and lost in this world and what somebody said, this is how you can set your goals and achieve your goals. This is about submission to Allah, acknowledging the one power, acknowledging the one that alone really is and who has favored us, the one that we have that is precious, more precious than money, more precious than our house, more precious than our health, more precious than any person or thing, Allah. We have Allah. The Quran says, if you believe in Allah, He guides your heart. So my point is this. A lot of people not really believing in Allah. They believe that they believe in Allah. They have beliefs about Allah. They don't have the awareness and experiencing of Allah consciousness. The Quran tells us things like those who have patience, Allah is with them. And the Quran tells us that those who demonstrate a most beautiful patience, they are the people that Allah loves. Allah loves those who are patient. But many of us, we don't know this experiencing of being patient, this experiencing of being peaceful. So we're not aware of Allah and His wonderful nature. We're not experiencing being taken care of by Allah. Many of us are not experiencing Allah's sufficiency for us, Allah's adequacy for us, because we're still in that mind, we haven't submitted. We're still living like this world is real, like this world will never perish, like we will always be here. We're still living unaware of Allah. We're still living lost in the creation of Allah. A lot of us. Overwhelming majority, I think, Allah knows best. But what I'm saying is, if you become aware that this world is not real, you are not real. What does that mean? Only Allah is the actual. Always was, will always be. We came into being. We are apparent. This world is apparent. The moment you start recognizing this is a created world, Allah's power, and you look around you, the methodology of the Quran is look and see. Look and see the greatness. Look and see the signs of God. I was reading last night, chapter 14. Al-Ghafir. It says, there are those who deny the signs of Allah. They deny, the believers are the ones who deny the signs. Now I'm saying to you, there are Muslim people, so-called inverted commas, they are in their heads, they're not aware of Allah, and they not in their hearts, they are in diseased hearts, they are lost in this world, and they're not aware. When they look around, they don't see the greatness of Allah, the power of Allah. And when they look at themselves in this world and what Allah has given us and what we have, life, we couldn't cause ourselves to be, we can't cause ourselves to continue to be, yet we are and we continued. We couldn't cause ourselves to be the highest life form on earth, yet we are. We are given privileges, favors, not given to other creation. We are given. There is Allah who has given to us. We're already given. So these are people begging, we need Allah, we need. They are unaware and they're non-experiencing. In their hearts is a disease. They are astray, the Quran tells. They say they believe in Allah in the last day. They are unaware of the sufficiency of Allah. They say they believe in Allah in the last day, the Quran says. But in their hearts is a disease and they are astray. And Allah leaves them to stray and their disease is expanded. You know what I mean? Because they're living lost, identified with the body, identified with this world, turning to other people. They don't look beyond the creation and see Allah. So a lot of people are like, oh, you know what, Allah, give me this and give me that. Allah has given us guidance to worship Him, to submit to Him. Allah has given us guidance to not be controlled by anybody or anything, to not turn to anybody or anything, but to turn only to Him. Allah has given us guidance that He is sufficient for us to invoke Him as believers, for us to invoke Him as humble human beings. I think it's Surah Ghafir 40, chapter 40, yes, verse 60. It says, if I'm not mistaken, that say to the believers, I am near, I am immediate. Elsewhere it says, I am closer than your own jugular veins. I am here, I am near, I am immediate. Here is not here in Cape Town or Durban or Johannesburg or Pretoria. Here is closer to us than our jugular veins. Here is not even in time and space. Here is not anywhere in time and space, because there is only Allah, and Allah has favored us and breathed His Spirit into us. He says, if you invoke me, I will surely respond. You get what I mean? If you invoke me, I will surely respond. And you know what happens after that verse, as that verse completes? It says, except for those that are arrogant. For those that are arrogant. Who are the arrogant? They walk on the earth without humility. So I ask myself every day, am I experiencing being humble before my Creator? Am I experiencing being humble? Am I aware of my Creator as my Creator? That He alone is the real, His will alone is the real. We are created beings in a created world. We have no existence of ourselves apart from Allah. Because of Allah we exist. But there's no Allah and us. That Allah met us one day and said, hey, how's it, No, Allah created us in time and space. In the creation we are. But Allah is beyond the creation. Allah is the Creator. Allah is nowhere in anybody. And Allah is nowhere in this world. Allah is everywhere. This world is made up. In the real world, Allah alone is. We are in this world. So my point is, when you start humbling yourself, I could not do anything. I have air to breathe, the earth spins on its axis, the sun is here, we are supported in our existence, we are favored. You look around you and you see the power of Allah. You look around, you look at even yourself, and you see, whoa, Allah has favored us. Compare yourself with the animals. Look and see. I know some human beings behave like animals because they're not aware that they are above the animals, that we can express being. We can enjoy caring for each other in a way that other creation cannot. We can be compassionate and forgiving and kind and loving and generous with each other. We can experience these godliness attributes of Allah. Animals can't do that. You get what I mean? We are the ones that are favored. But people can't see that. Money, car, house, food, shelter, Maulana Guru, this is right, this is wrong, I'm doing this, I'm not going to hell, Instead of submission. Once you start recognizing the power of Allah, you are humble. And once you start appreciating and valuing, you have Allah, who has already given you the highest life form status, who has given you abilities and capabilities, capacities, endowments and faculties, who created you to live excellently, to live and excel in this planet. You get what I mean? We are given that. People can't see Allah, and they can't see His greatness. When I say that, obviously not with the eyes, with the heart. You understand? People can't see what Allah has given to them. When you look around, the power of Allah is glaring. When you look around, you will see Allah's provisioning for us, providing for us. You will see His privileging. It's glaring. But you won't see it really if you are still in a sick heart, diseased mind, lost. You're still not aware of Allah. You're not experiencing Allah consciousness. You feel like something is missing, something is lacking. You don't know there's potentials Allah has given you, possibilities that already exist. There's people, things and experiences in the world. There's people, things, and what you want is already in the world. You are to live as a higher level of human being so that you can enjoy the life of this world and the hereafter. You understand? Allah guides us to eat properly, halal and tayyib, so that we can be healthy. There are people that say, we're submissive in religion, we only eat halal, halal, halal. But they know nothing about tayyib. They don't know nothing about being health conscious. Allah is guiding us how to relate to people in business in the Quran. Allah is guiding us how to relate to people and each other and family and community and spouses and how to live at a high level. The people are like, no, this is right and this is wrong. They're not interested in actually living as an honorable creation of Allah. Do you understand? Allah has guided us to live at the potentials that we have been given as the highest life form on earth. But the people on the head, money, food, Maulana Guru, are we right, are we wrong, you tell us, they're not Allah aware. They're not aware of the favors of Allah. They're not aware of who we are, that Allah, how Allah gave us value. Allah has valued us. We have value. Allah has given us the ability to value. You understand? No more in the trance, no more worshipping Satan. I can value Allah's value. I can appreciate. I can be grateful and thankful. The Quran says when Satan stands on the path, he renders people kafur and ungrateful. I'm no longer ungrateful. I can be thankful. I can be grateful. I can rejoice in the favors of Allah. I can celebrate. Woohoo! Allah has favored me. Look at me. I'm a human being. Something to rejoice. Look at me, everything is here. Foods, people, things, everything is here. Allah has given to us. He spins the earth. I can feel wonderful. This is a heart that is healed. A heart that is recognizing the unique value of Allah. A heart that recognizes that Allah has already given. A heart that recognizes that, see, the Quran, not Quran, Hadith Qudsi. After the Quran is Hadith Qudsi. Hadith Qudsi says, heaven and earth cannot contain Allah, but the heart of a true believer does. You get what I mean? My point I'm making here is Allah has given us guidance and we can excel. If you become Allah aware and you start experiencing, if you are humble and if you're appreciative, it means you're becoming Allah aware and you live at a higher level of humanity. You feel secure, you live, and you start recognizing the guidance of Allah consciously. You eat consciously, you live consciously, you relate consciously. You're not worshipping Satan anymore. You enjoy the life of this world. You prepare and invoke the life of the next at the highest levels. You understand? So people don't know that they don't know. They don't want to even know that they don't know. They become very defensive. When you tell Satan worshippers, when you try and teach them and reach them, they're very defensive. You get what I mean? That's how they are. They worship Satan. They're not open to learning and growing and developing. You get what I mean? So this is the situation, that there are people, they're not learning, growing and developing. They're remaining lost. They're not becoming aware of Allah. And then they say, Allah, you must change this whole world. I want to remain the same. But change my husband and change my children and change the world. I don't want to be a better father. I don't want to be a better spouse. I don't want to be a better human being. I don't want to be a better, whatever. I don't want to live as a conscious human being. I don't want to open my mind to wisdom and live in a way that benefits me and other people. I want to live insecure, powerlessly, not really demonstrating, high levels of humanity. But you must just fix my whole life up. Allah has guided us to a higher level of living, that we may live enjoying His good in this world and the world beyond. But the people don't want to live at the higher level of, Allah, please give me, we need you, change this, change. Allah says He'll not change the condition of a people until they change what is in their hearts. And we are here to bring to Allah a purified heart. You get what I mean? So this is the thing. I'm asking you, can you become aware of the situation? Can you see that people are not aware of the power of Allah and therefore they're not experiencing? When you look at the world, if you look at the world and you see the power of Allah, that's when you know your du'as are going to be answered. When you look at the world and you see the miraculous nature of this world, when you look at yourself and your body and you see that what the Quran says, that we have created you in the best of molds. The favors of Allah. Quran says, which ones are you denying? We need. Allah has already given you. He has already given you the ability to reason and guidance to receive and to live at a higher level. No, we don't want to live at a higher level. We want to worship Satan, remaining in a trance. Our attention is on everything other than Allah's greatness and graciousness, other than Allah's power and privileging. But Allah must help us. Why are you not helping us, Allah? Why are you not? The answer is in the Quran. Those who fail to remember Allah, theirs will be a depressed life. No, it's not that. It's not that. Allah is testing us. You fail the test. Purify your hearts. Receive guidance. The Quran is about wisdom and knowledge and to live at a higher level. No, we must just not do this and do that. We must just, read the Quran in a language you don't understand. Just go up, down, kiss the ground. That's when you're a believer and you perform salah. Salah is the miraj of the believer. When you're a believer and you invoke Allah, the dua is the weapon of the believer. You understand? These are rituals for believers, not for hypocrites. Oh, don't tell me that, don't tell me that, I'm not a hypocrite. Look and see, receive the guidance is what I'm saying. That can you really remain ignorant, superstitious and arrogant? You don't humble yourself and you don't experience satisfaction. Thank you, Allah. You don't experience, you don't receive Allah and you don't receive His favors. You don't recognize, if you know anything about Allah, if any of you know anything about Allah, you will know that Allah is the all-gracious. Allah is the all-giving. That Allah has given to us more than we can ever. You see, the Quran says if you try to count the favors of Allah, you'd never be able to count them. It's impossible. You can't, there's no number that large that we can count. You understand? So, no, we need. Who needs? The one who denies Allah, the one who denies Allah and His giving nature, the one who doesn't recognize that Allah is gracious. He has given us without us earning anything. He has freely, fully, of His own accord, favored us and given us the opportunity to live at the highest levels. Yes, Adam and Eve started worshipping, going off track there with Satan. But Allah champions humanity. He doesn't say, oh, you all went off track, forget about you all now. Allah champions the human beings. This is Allah's grace. For those who will reflect. For those that are lost in this world and they're clueless, things don't just get better in the next, they get worse and worse in this world to your death and beyond. But those who humble themselves, those who are appreciative, those that are thankful, those that are becoming more aware and experiencing that we have Allah, who has given to us, we have the favors of Allah, we have the ability to invoke Allah. Furthermore, Allah is available to forgive us, Allah is available to favor us, Allah is available to progress us beyond where we are. People are unaware, they have Allah and the value. We have Allah who has privileged us and promoted us. We have Allah. So, people don't know. People don't know that one of the reasons that they cannot become aware of Allah and His graciousness is in their hearts is a disease. They carry shame. They carry guilt. They carry fear. These are spiritual worry. You understand? These are the results. Spiritual disempowerment. Spiritual disease. If you're feeling unworthy, and nobody addresses these things. If you're feeling not good enough, nobody addresses these things. If you're feeling fear and worry, in fact, some of Maulana Guru and gang will tell you, you must fear Allah. I woke up this morning and I became aware that I can approach Allah and be honest about my failings and ask Him for His forgiveness, and He loves to forgive. When you're afraid of Allah, you'll never admit you're erring and you'll never receive His compassion and mercy. When you live threatened by Allah, you won't know His gracious nature. The people are very spiritually sick and their lives reflect it. Shukr to Allah is available to us who want His guidance, will receive His guidance, we will benefit from His guidance in this world through our death and beyond, inshallah. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.